Hello, YouTubers. So friends came to my house and she's like, "Oh, you gotta give people a tour of your your basement loft." Um, I'm a crafter. I'm 63. I've been sewing since I was back in my country on the island of Trinidad and Tobago. I watched my mom sew when we moved to New York. I love sewing. I love crafting. I don't sew much anymore because I'm getting ready to retire. So, whatever clothes I have, I'm gonna wear. Here, I don't. I never did a lot of photography like how some people go to the photographer. I make things, so this is my creation. This is what I like. I like to see my family on on cloth. Anyway, this is on. I'm on the steps coming down to my basement. This is where I live, and yeah, I still have Christmas stuff hanging. And this is actually my bedroom. Okay, so it's not as neat as it should be, but oh well. Anyway, this is my pride and joy. When the whole Wakanda, I always say words wrong. Sorry, Wakanda thing was going on. This is the one I made. I had a lot of scraps. I had some African fabric. My mom got from a friend in Africa. You could see I used every single piece. Some of the elephants are upside down. I didn't care. I used it. Some of my best quilts are always scrappy quilts. And the quilt under it is a girlfriend, it's mom's quilt. It's over 80 years old. She would always bring it to me and I'd patch it up, all those little things I patch up. But I realized I'm using the wrong fabric. So, and she has it folded somewhere in the house, stuck somewhere. I'm like, I never fold my quilts. Once I start, they go up on the wall. This is hiding my electrical unit back there. I got to put a sign because the inspector came when they redid it, and he's like, "Oh, I will never know where to find it if there's a fire." See, I love. This is my mom. I love making stuff. When I moved down here, I made a runner for my dresser. Sorry, I hope I'm not making you all dizzy. See, this is what's on my dresser. I'm not a makeup person. And my little nightstand. And over there, there's another one. This is a quilt. My daughter's in the military. She went in a year ago. She left a whole bunch of clothes for me to get rid of. And this is what I did with it. A lot of jeans, fabric, shirt fabric. See, this is the jeans. We rode on the basic combat training. She was at Fort Leonard Wood. Um, this is the backside. See, it's all jeans. Jeans and a lot of my quilt fabric. Yeah, that's the back of my jeans. This is what I love. I mean, this is what I do. I said one day I'll make a quilt of that. I just sent it to her. So here is the basement. Scraps. This is all scraps again. I love this one. This is another pride and joy. I did that all hand. I love doing handwork. I love doing the petals are all sewn on by hand. And this is fabric pen so you can see the rays of the sun. Scrap left over from making my brother's quilt. My father on that and his mom. There's my little jacket. Look, even my shower curtain is scrappy, scrappy fabric left over. This is my daughter who's stationed overseas now. She's in the Army. When she graduated from the University of North Carolina, Charlotte, this was her gift. Start with the family, my family, her dad, his mom, family members, that's her. Okay, so that column is separate. I'll pull out. The first four columns is her life. The last column I added, this is from actual graduation. When she graduated that day and we went down. Now that she's in the military, I have quite a lot of pictures. I'm going to add another column to this one to show her life in the military thus far. This is another scrappy quilt. I messed up because the yellow is supposed to be opposing each other and the red, but you could see after I got done, I was like, damn it, they're in the wrong position. I still like it. It scraps. Another scrappy quilt. This is a quilt for a friend. I'm going to mail it because he was supposed to come back. His girlfriend died last carnival. Not this last one, 2019. Carnival in my country. She was ill. And I made that for him. This is my spare bedroom. I love the blue. I bought an embroidery machine and I just wanted to use up the different things. I do embroidery. I mean, I learned embroidery by hand and I tested out some of the patterns that I like, and that's what I did. This one broke my heart because I made it for a friend and I bought ink in bulk. I think it was from wherever. And after I was finished with this thing, water fell on it, and I realized the ink was bad. It started falling apart, so I started taking it apart. Oh, I forgot to show you guys the back. My backs and my quilts have to be pretty. All of my backs, they're always pretty. They must be pretty. My mom always said, because we sewed, the inside of your garment should be as nice as the front or the outside. So my quilts always have great. Don't look at the mess. Don't look at the mess. It's a dress I'm making. This is my basement. As you can see, we're in the mass business now. I'm sorry, I'm shaking. Okay, I'm 63. This is scraps left over from a brother's. I have four brothers really, and these are different scrap left over. This is one of my creations. I want to finish and put it back on the wall because I had it pinned on another big quilt on the wall, but I want to hang it by itself. I have a spot for it. Look, I put fabric on everything. My daughters are usually out there with their friends, and I don't want them to think I'm watching them, so I put that fabric up. This is my ironing area. This is actually a Singer sewing machine. It's in there. The Singer machine is in there. See? There's a drawer. It folds out. But it doesn't work. One of these days when everything is over and set and done with. There's my little country emblem. Coat of arms, not emblem. This is my quilt. It says my world. I'm trying to move slow. That's me there. 20 pounds lighter. That's me there. I think I was 12. And there's all kinds of people on here. Old boyfriends, girlfriends, co-workers. My old doggy. It's me. He was as big as I was. My ex-husband. Military. People in my life. They were my flag. I love having my flag. The front of my house. I don't plant flowers anymore. I don't have the patience. These kids are all grown up, my nieces and nephew. They came to Baltimore. I live in Clinton, Maryland. They came to I took them to Baltimore for my niece's graduation. Oh my God, that's like 20 years ago. So, yeah, see? Mask making. This is my mom's quilt. Mommy's quilt, I've been making it for 4 years now. I've pulled out a lot of stitches because I didn't like how it looked, and I'm doing it by hand now. I think you can see on this one. I will stop so it doesn't shake. I apologize. See, this is hand. This is what I'm pulling out. Didn't like how it looked. So I have got a lot done. I mean, I pull this one out. You can barely see it. But this one, ugh. Yucky, yucky, yucky. That's my daughter, my granddaughter. That's me. I was 50 there. That's 13 years ago. Good Lord. That dress is hanging on that wall. And if you can see it, it's behind that red and black jacket. Now that I've gotten wider, it's gotten a little shorter. So I'm going to add some kind of lace down the bottom and around the neck. So that's Mommy's quilt. I'll tell you, once I start a quilt, I don't fold it. I hang it somewhere. See, like this one, for instance. I'm working on it. I'm calling it, I don't know, Queen's Majesty something garden. I don't know. They're metal. I have a belt. That little package on the left, top of the left, it's a belt, a metal belt I had. And they have discats, different colors of gold and silver. And they're going to go in the middle of each flower. And the biggest one is going to go on the bottom one. This is another scrappy quilt. The 4 squares are from a quilt I had made. It was actually 12 by 12, and I just kept adding to it. And then I ended up pulling it together. And I didn't like the beige in the middle being so plain. So I love making bias tape and stitching it on, as you can see. All bias tape. This is all hand done. Well, I stitched it all together, and then I put the pieces on. I iron it on with fusible. What is it? Seal and bond. And I'm actually, let me see if I can get closer. My plan is to bead. Go away. Somebody's texting me. I'm beading. I'm going to make their faces and things around their arms. And see, this is all hand quilted. I don't know if you can see it. Oh, you can see a little bit of it here. This is hand quilted. I pieced it together now. And that one is another creation. You know how I did that one? I took a square piece of paper and I folded it twice. And then I drew and cut the pieces out and put it back together. And that's what I got. It's like the one on the table. I'm always watching it, MSNBC. This one I have to mail. It's for a friend in Florida. His daughter got married a year ago, and I have to mail it. I just have to mail it. I just have to figure out what I'm going to do on the back to hang it. I usually put, I usually put like a tubing. Oh, I like little things to hang it off of. See, this is what I do once I start. I have on all my rods, this rod, I have this piece of cloth, and then I just pin it to the cloth. The cloth is like, see, it's only a few inches. And that's how I hang my quilts. This one is not done. It's all sandwich. This is supposed to be, my mom has 4 kids, 1 girl and 3 boys. And each of our pictures, I'm the second one. So you see that second column is done. I'm the second child, not the second one. They actually, it's supposed to be jars. If you look at it, the top of the jar, that's what I try to make. But it's a pattern, so you can't really see it. And that, I love this. I have to mail it to him for his daughter's first anniversary. He lost his baby. And this is one I made of my daughter's. I'm sorry, I'm going to stop. I apologize. See, that very first, the blank ones, they have to give me a picture they want on there. That's the top one is my oldest and my youngest. Then my lovely grandson. Look at the rascal. He's 7 now. That's embroidery stitches. I love doing embroidery stitches. And stuff I have around me. And that's it. Oh, and this is, my niece died years ago. And I made these scarves for each of us. And each of us had they had this at the bottom. And then a picture of whomever was wearing the scarf. So this is my scarf with she and I. And let's see if this one, oh, and my dad died the same day. Within hours of each other. He lived in Alabama and she lived in Atlanta. Most of my family's in Atlanta. There's my baby girl, my niece. She liked orange, so someone else in the family made these little things. So our family had this on with, well, my dad's was red, but hers was white, and I wore white for her. He liked red, so his scarf, exactly the same thing, but it was red fabric. That's him, and that's her. Within hours of each other, different states, babe. And of course, I had to put something up. My grandson wanted me to put his little Spider-Man up. So in my basement, I have a little microwave and a refrigerator. My little coffee area. It's messy. I know. Anyway, YouTubers, this is it. This is my little messy space. Don't say nothing about it. It is what it is, right?